Hotep Senwena Senut Itiran Ishakanagu Kemet. Just have to check something. Should I do this? If I do that, will I hear myself? Let's see. Microphone check. Microphone check. Phone check. Okay, one moment. I need to check the sound. I will go preferences. Sound. Haha. There it is. There it is. Okay. Now, good. All right, brothers and sisters. Once again, Hotep Sinuena Senut ET Ren Ishakalugu Kemet. I hope you're doing well. I hope you can hear me loud and clear. Now, the title says One Lucky Brother or Sister. I one brother stood up to the plate and took advantage of the free Medonacha class. And then I was looking for a sister. I wanted to be fair and have balance, but no sister stood up to the plate. And since we are just a couple of days before the due date, then if any brother wants to get to attend the Medunecher or hieroglyphic class of Friday at 11 p.m. EST free of charge, then just get on the panel and let me know. I've shared the invite link. In the meantime, you can address any topic you like. Feel free if you have any questions or comment. Sister Alex Lito's wish was already granted because she wanted me to sponsor someone, but I just decided to sponsor a couple. So another person can take advantage. Let me know. Mm, that's nice. In the meantime, what's good? What's popping? Let me know what's up. Let me know what's up. Give me something to flow about. I have a little bit of time, so we can talk. We can chill. Let me know how the sound quality is with this new headset. As a matter of fact, yeah, how it sounds on the phone. Let me check how it sounds from the phone. 1 2 1 2 microphone check. From the phone. 1 2 microphone check. 1 2 1 2 microphone check. From the phone. Sounds okay. I'm happy with that. So, who wants to learn the Medonet chair? One lucky person can attend the Friday class free of charge. Everybody else who wants to learn, then let me know. Send me an email, get on the panel, ask me your questions. It's time to get serious. The group class will be on and popping this Friday, 11 p.m. EST. So get on board now. It's your opportunity, and then things will be different. Things will be different, actually. Why do we always have lurkers who don't dare saying anything, even in the chat? Take advantage free of charge, no catch. One brave soul. I will wait at least 20 minutes. This is roughly the time it takes for people to get notified. By the way, those of you who have not subscribed to my channel, and by all means do so. As I speak, I need 4 subscribers to reach 20,000. Twitter looks nice. How does it sound? Sounds okay. On Facebook. Looks nice as well. How does it sound? Good. Hey, we have Brother Reggie in the place to be. But nice talk. I just saw your comment on YouTube. Spoke about the Medunet chair. Brother Reggie, if you know someone that might be interested in the Medunet class, one lucky person can attend the Friday group class free of charge. So if you know somebody, feel free to let him or her know. I was looking for a sister because one brother took advantage. I wanted one brother and one sister to learn for free because one sister actually sponsored, and the brother stood up to the plate, but we don't have any sister, and it's been a few days. So now I'm giving the opportunity, I'm giving the chance to a brother or a sister. All they have to do is get on the panel. That's all. And to get on the panel, brothers and sisters, the link is in the chat. And when I say you need to get on the panel, you need to show your face, brothers and sisters. But Reggie, what we'll do, I mean, it might happen this evening. I mean, this evening. It's probably still afternoon, late afternoon. What? Yeah, it's like 4 p.m. in New York now. Well, it's actually going to be 5 p.m. Yes, if I'm not mistaken, 5 p.m. in New York. But I would really like for this to be done. It would be a shame that nobody takes advantage. As for any other person, I mean, if it was up to me, I'd have more people. Go on, sign the show. You mean now? Not live now. And what was I saying before that? I forgot. I lost my thought. You will lull in the future. I don't know. I don't know. Hey, we have Brady Watts who wrote, want to know, do you believe in flat or round earth? I don't believe in any flat earth theory whatsoever. Not at all. We have pictures and videos of earth, and we can clearly see a sphere. One of the reasons why some people argue for flat earth is because they are Muslims, and somewhere the hadith of the Quran, there's a description of the earth being flat. Then some other people are not Muslim and they believe that, that the earth is flat. And I'm sorry, I don't really understand why they believe so, but I'm not trying to dwell on it or waste time on it. But the Reggie is saying, tell them why they should learn the Medunasha. I've been telling them forever, but it's a classical language for a very prosperous and long civilization. Sheikh Anta Diop said that we should look at Kemet the same way Europeans look at ancient Greece, ancient Greece, and ancient Rome. There's some correlation or similarities between the Middle Nature and some African languages. I've already shared a PDF written by several PhDs demonstrating that. And even the word Ibani derives from the Middle Nature, Hebeni. I don't understand that statement here. Blow bubbles and tell me why the bubbles are circular. Probably a reference to the flat Earth thing. So, if you want to see that PDF, you can just type in Ma'at forever, and then you type in West Africa's relationship with Kemet. I think that's the title. And in the description, you will have the link to that PDF that I mentioned. Once again, written by some PhDs, not some pseudos, because apparently being pseudo is in fashion now. You know, well, it's just now actually. It's been going on for about 10 years. 10 years ago, I warned the people, and now the majority of the community is realizing that yes, we're dealing with some pseudos indeed. You know, bold and arrogant pseudos. But really, they're not the only ones. They're not the only ones. They might be the boldest, but they're not the only pseudos. And many just people accept pseudos just because they are cool, just because they are friends, part of the same crew, part of the same team. Hey, but Reggie's there.
Peace.
Peace. Feel free
Well,
to speak, brother. I have time now.
I think people should learn the Medu Neter. There's two reasons. Um, some people are drawn to the Medu Neter for trying to understand how the African thought, both spiritually, um, and I'll say religiously and culturally, and uh, that thought is throughout all of Africa. So the ancient Africans of the Nile were children of other African civilizations, the Nubian, the Nakata A. They were connected with the people of Chad and ultimately the people of Green Sahara. And the Green Sahara is the parent peoples of lots of areas in Africa, not Southern Africa per se, but the Southern Africans found their way into the Great Green Sahara because that's where all the animals went. And so Africans learned to work together within the Green Sahara, and they shared and borrowed ethnicity, and that uh, migration and intermixing created an expanded language, and it also led to a writing form. The other reason why you should study the Medu Neter is because it gives you a truer sense of history. The Africans wrote about their spiritual and religious and beliefs, but they also wrote about their lives, their marriages, their raising of their children, their love for each other, and the fights against the invaders and the enemies. And so, if you're a student of history, you would be at a disadvantage if you did not uh, read the words of the ancient Egyptians uh, in their native words, in their thinking. Um, you could read translations, but then you always have to check the translations. So, what Shaka Ndugu Kemet is allowing you to do, if you're a history student, is give you a method to check history. Simple as that. So, we get a chance to check history of the groups of people, the Canaanites and the Western Semitics. We get a chance to check history during the periods where the Ptolemies came in, the Greeks came in, the Ptolemies. It gives you a chance to check history against the Torah, the Tanakh, the Talmud, and it gives you a chance to check Christianity. So you can't be a good debater if you don't know that. And so a lot of young people, they want to be a debater. So they watch people like Brother Reggie, Smash Rockwell debate. And the Hebrews and the Christians, they have nothing for us. The Christians, they have a problem because it seems like Christ spoke Greek. That Christ spoke Greek. The Son of God, the Son of Man, the Son of Light spoke Greek. How preposterous is that?
Yeah, he
It's
said, I am
not.
the Alpha and the Omega.
Yeah, the beginning and the end, right? That's Greek. And so that was one of my points when I was debating. And then you have this whole period of European Christianity where they don't practice the Hebrew, they practice um, the Septuagint, which is Greek, and then it's Latin, and then it's English, and it's a mess, right? It's a complete mess. So if you want to study history correctly, you would take Shaka Ndugu's Kemet's class so that you could verify things, and that's important if you want to debate. And I think I've had more than 25 debates. I've debated Moors, Muslims, Christians. Uh, I've debated pseudos. I debated pseudo Kemet people, right? I debated Kemetic priests. Um, yeah. And when I debate someone of a, like, for example, a Kemetic priest, if they can't read the Medu Neter, then what do we? Then we get right to the root of it, like, and then we get into what the rituals. Are you reading funerary rituals or are you reading living rituals? Do you know the living rituals? Do you know, are all these things coming from tombs? So if you, and then you take these funny names, and every name that you take is supposed to be really a word. All so Shaka Ndugu Kemet was, he could look at these words that people call themselves, and they're not sentences and they're not words. So then people even misuse words. For example, imaki. Imaki is a popular word. What's
Blessed,
imaki? What's
favored,
imaki? Huh?
blessed, favored, translated differently.
Yeah, it's
Just like
imaki.
Imaku, Imak.
Yeah, it's really and the only time you see it is on a tomb, right? You see it any other
Oh
time?
no, no, you will see it on Stellas.
You would see it on a stela, or you would see it on a what? Give me an example of a stela that you would see imaki.
I can have a look. I can actually search. Uh, it'll be quicker.
Yeah.
Now, there we go. It's opening now.
Because most of the time that I see Maki, when I look it up at the TLA or I look at it Vigus,
Hmm.
I see Maki as meaning the venerated dead, the respected dead
Verinated, yes.
dead
Now let
person.
me, yeah. Um,
If
well,
if
just like Ma'acheru, but
that's
Imak,
the funerary, so
Imak.
you only
No.
see really Mat Karu as the last phrase of a funerary uh, a biography. So if you see the living person, like for example the Nasud Bidi, you will see his title. So when Africans are living, they have living titles, whether they're the Pati, the Vizier, right, or the Deputy Vizier, or the any group of particular titles that royalty would have, and other groups of people. So what I find is, if you could find, and that would be helpful to me.
Hmm. Well, I'm pretty confident, Imak here appears on Stella, so I will have a quick look. I think I should find somewhere. No, no, this one cannot. This one maybe. The thing is that I had a quick look and I have it on my slides
Hmm.
when we go through the vocabulary, but then later on when we go through some artifacts, uh, then I don't have it written because we
Yeah,
went through the vocabulary and we're
but they
familiar
have
with
to
it. So
be they have to be non-funerary. They have to be non-funerary artifacts. So a funerary artifact, you like a coffin text, you're going to you're going to find imaki. You're going to
but there
find.
is here. Um, sorry to interrupt.
Hmm.
Where is it? This I don't know if we'll be able to see it. No, no, yeah, no. Uh, it's taken from that book here. It's a book in French, written by a PhD in Egyptology. Uh, that's the artifact. It's because of my
Can't
background
see
that we
it.
don't see it well. It's
Is
it's
it a funerary wall? Is it a funerary wall?
uh well, it looks like what they call a false door. It's a
Yes,
stela of
funerary.
Isi. Yeah, it's a
Yes.
stela of Isi, and reference is a C164.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, it's
that has to
funerary.
be the Louvre Museum. Hold on. Well, why didn't they put where it's located? Uh,
You will see it normally. You will
oh yeah,
see
no,
the.
no, that's from the Louvre Museum. Actually, all the artifacts in that book are from the Louvre Museum. The
Mhm.
reference is C 164. It's from the Sixth Dynasty, and it will most likely come from Saqqara, made of limestone.
Mhm.
And we do have actually we have Imaki in the second line. We have the Hotep Dinesu,
Mhm.
in
Yeah,
Putep
it's funerary.
Juef.
That's
Yes.
my point. My point is,
Mm,
Imaki is Imaki is venerated dead, and you will find it on coffin texts, and you will find it on what they call false doors.
mm,
You, if you want, if you want, if you're reading a living text like a soldier, right? You would see something like aha. You would see a title. If the person is dead, then they're funeralizing him, and then it's Imaki, and then if it's a female, it's what?
Imaket.
Yeah, it's the Imaket, right? Respected dead male and respected dead female. And so lots of people, they take names and they don't research their names, and then they find out, wow, maybe I chose the wrong Kemetic name. So that means that they don't really know anything about the culture.
There's one
Um,
sister. Her husband is quite known, and she bears a male name,
what's
but
her
I ain't
male
gonna say
name?
no name. I ain't gonna say no name. But her husband's been going to Kemet for many years.
Okay, so that's the so then you, for example, then you have names like, for example, Heru Baba Samaj, Heru Samaj Septa, and then you would think, wow, Samaj, that must be an African name, Kemetic name, and you search and try to figure out what it is, and it's all right to put a Kemetic name like Shaka, but that's still African, right? Or you might mix West African and African. That's fine. Samaj is really James spelled backwards. It's the name James spelled backwards, and for the person who carries it, the person's real first name is James. So so people do things like that for their own purposes. But when you're a scholar, a debater, scholar, you find these things out because then you go and search. Because in the spiritual practices, which I don't do, I don't believe in it. I For anybody that wants to know, I respect deeply African culture, um, as a way in which they interpreted their world, uh, their forces and their principles. And I respect the principles and the forces, and I respect that they deified them. Um, but I don't, for my own particular purposes, I don't do the spiritual part of it. Um, though I respect it, I venerate it, um, but I don't practice it. My teacher, Dr. Yosef Benjo Cannon, he didn't, and Dr. John Henry Clark did not. Dr. Leonard Jeffries does not. Professor Small does, but Professor Small teaches aspects of many, many different systems. So he teaches kind of a greater truth. So he's not one. He doesn't have a Kemetic name. His name is James Small. My name is Reggie Mabry. Dr. Clark's name was Dr. John Henry Clark. Dr. Yosef Ben Johanan, his his real name is not Jochanan. His family name is Johannes. Jochanan is a Hebrew secret society name that he chose, right? His name is Antonio Alfredo Johannes. And then he became Dr. Yosef ben Jochanan, son of Jochanan, son of Johannes. So why learn Medunecha? So you learn Medunecha is so that you have a sense, you don't get caught up in the pseudo world. You find out what things really are. You find the truth. Am I making you uncomfortable, Shaka?
No, 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 it's okay. I mean, I know your stance, and the way you articulate it now. I don't have a problem with it. Other times I heard you being way harsher. You know,
Oh,
but
because I'm dealing with, because you know who I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with people who can't verify it. If you, if I'm dealing with someone who can verify what they say, then I would be less harsh. But when I know you can't verify it, I'm gonna be harsh,
mm,
right? I'm gonna be harsh because you're not telling the truth. So when you can learn the system to be a researcher like I am for the while that I want to be, or you can learn it to be a scholar. You can learn it to be, and you can learn it to be part of the faith. I don't have a problem with that. I just have a problem when you're right and everybody else is wrong and you can't verify it.
mm. And there's a few people that I heard doing some linguistic acrobatics, some linguistic gymnastics with the word careset, trying to tie it with Christ. And
Well, pull up a Hotep Dinosut. So this is a Metanetia lesson. So
uh,
pull up the Hotep Dinosut.
now I have to scroll through the slides. Actually, I will
One
look
second,
for some
I
artifact.
gotta get something to drink.
Yeah, no problem. Um, but it's okay if people see the slides a little bit. Just scrolling through them. So, how do you do again to see? There it is, and then no, I'll need that. I'll need the navigator. So,
Oh boy.
actually, there's a nice Hotep Dinesu which is in color. Um,
So the Hotep Dinosut is oldest prayer, but it's actually a legal document. It basically is um, a certification that you died serving the king. And so it begins Hotep Dinosut, which is offering that the
There
king
it
did.
is.
Huh?
There it is.
Right. Okay. So, um, so you could point to the Hotep because people don't know what the Hotep, what Hotep looks like. Huh?
Is that one the offering table, the altar offering table with a piece of bread on top of it?
Right. And a piece of substance. It could be bread, it could be something else, but it's for in the dynastic time period, it becomes bread. It becomes ta. It has the bread sound ta. And then you look underneath it, and you're going to see the complements, the phonetic complements.
Hmm.
So show them the phonetic complements.
The t, the loaf of bread, and the stool, the p, well, or the t and the p.
Right. So the symbol has a phonetic complement, so we know that it's Hotep. And so when I was showing yesterday, I was showing it with a glyph with the H. So that's how we knew to make the sound Hotep because we needed that the H sound. And so it says Hotep, and then show them the D,
The cone of bread.
right? Um, and it's kind of a short form because sometimes you see it like with a hand
Yes, the
with
arm with the cone inside of the hand.
right Hotep
And sometimes they
D.
transliterate it as ready, but it's the same.
You're correct. You're correct.
And this one here, most Kemetic people they say that name so many times, but they could not read it. And I want to change that.
All right. So you can read it for what it is and why it is what it is. But so what anyway, go to the North Sut. So go to the North Sut so people can see the North Sut on the Hotep to the all the way to the right. The other one, the first one.
Yeah.
So that's Hotep D
So
North
it's,
Sut.
it's a bit damaged, but the glyph we have here is the same that we have here.
Right. And so then we have the word that he was telling you about. Um, Usually, sometimes you see Hotep Dinosut, you see Inpu, sometimes you
Ted
see a
UF.
spear. Huh?
Yes. Yes.
In this case, this is a kind of a rare one, right? You see Emen, Hotep Dinosut Emen, offering that the king gives to Iman. So this is a legal document. If you were buried without the Hotep Dinosut, that means you didn't do what the king loves. You didn't do what God loves. You don't have a certification for burial. And then Eman, and then I could say that that's Eman Ra,
It
right?
is.
So that's why I know this is in the late 18th dynasty when Eman now uh, connects with the sun disk, Ra, and that was the big fight over uh, Tut Ankh-Amun, Akhenaten, right, about Amun Ra. Mm. And then you see the Nosut, and then uh, you see Tiu, and then Neter.
Mhm.
The
It's
Neter.
basically Nesut Necheru.
Say it again.
It's basically Nesut Necheru.
Yeah, but so the thing that's really interesting to me right now is that that seeing that T there with the Neter, I would say I would I would begin to think that maybe we might be talking about a female. But let's go on. Then it says Usir. Show them Usir.
Yeah, all
Now,
three.
why is it Usir? So you start with the chair, not
The throne.
chair, right? The throne, the chair, right? Will give you they change it to Wisir, but uh, it could be pronounced Asir because
Asir, yes.
if you had the T there instead of the I, it would um, it would be a set. It would be the chair or throne, and it would be the female throne. But here you see the R, so that gives us the ear sound. So it's a seer, and he's the Nosut. Uh, it says Ankh, and then U, and then it says Put, Pata,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
And so at the end of Ptah seems damaged, but it might have been a seated picture of Ptah.
Yes, it kind of looked like we have the shape of a seated individual. So probably.
Or standing individual of the
Mm.
Ptah. And then um, I would have to do some further transliterations of the next line, which just says, I don't know if that's
It's a relief.
info.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's
relief.
info,
It is.
info,
Hmm.
and then Neb Desher, right? And then I get another indication that we might be talking about a female because we see Het Haro. So we see, Lord of Strength, and then we see the Het Haro. Show them the Het Haro.
Right here.
Mhm.
Some people
So,
pronounce it Hutheru.
so I have two clues until I actually see the name. I'm thinking that this funerary, and who is it from? Who's it? Who? What is it? What
Well,
is it?
it is from the Louvre Museum, but for strange reason, I
Who's
did not
who's
put
Stella?
the
Who's
reference.
Stella? Hotep Dinosphere.
Uh, I did not put the reference. Usually I do, but this time I didn't because I was really
Right. So
focused
I'm
on
getting
the.
an indication that this is to a female because I see Het Heru, and then I see the tap. Sorry, the hair, which
Heltep,
is the face, right?
Heltep Waset.
Yep, right. Um, and then so we see Waset, right? We see Waset, and then we see the Netaru. Oh, the Netaru, the gods, or the 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 divine Netaru, right? The gods, uh, you know, and or the forces.
Hmm.
And then we see, I think, In, and then the Neterket, which is the necropolis. So show them the
Yes, or Herit Necher, the necropolis, or another word for cemetery, which is here.
yeah, right. So that's and then we see what is that? That's a
Well, I'm wondering if it's the Redi, if it's the arm with the cone supposedly, but it doesn't have the shape of a cone. So maybe it's another glyph that I'm not familiar with.
no. It to me it looks like a D, like the word D to give, and then underneath that is sin, and
Hmm.
then something is broken.
Yes.
So um, why do we read the Medu Netchers? We read the Medu Netcher is because peace, Chris. My
Hotep,
brother,
my brother Chris.
the MVP,
Yeah,
right?
he made a video explaining that the Exodus never happened.
That the what never happened?
The Exodus story.
The what story?
The yeah, I don't pronounce it well. How do you
Exodus.
pronounce it? Exodus, yes, yes. I pronounce it the French way.
Yeah, and that's why you read the Meta Neter, because you would be looking in the text of the ancient Africans to find out if there was a Exodus, or people leaving. And so you have several stories. You have the story of the two princes. I forgot their names. That they fought. They were the king's sons, and they fought. And one of them left. Um, you have the story of the Hekakasu, and they left. So you would start reading texts in different periods to find out. And then you read Meron Ptah, uh, Meron Ptah in that famous, what they call the Israel Stella or something like that.
Yeah,
And that's not Exodus, because Meron Ptah goes to uh, Israel, Israel, not El, Israel, and a few other places, and busts their ass, right? So that's not an Exodus, because the king is going over there and busting some ass in Canaan. Um, so you read the meta. You want to read the Meta Neter to try to figure out um, what what is actually really going on um, in the text. And so sometimes the sometimes you can speed read, and sometimes you have to come back and find the transliteration of the glyphs, so that you could formulate a sentence, right? And what he's showing you now is just sometimes, if you're reading from, now this Hotep Nosut has a lot of innovations that's different than the Old Kingdom and the Middle Kingdom. So I see a lot of symbols that I actually have to look up. Um, that I actually have to look up. And so after the hair, I would have to look up that symbol. Then it's a sin, and then I have to look up this other symbol after the sinu. I have to look up that symbol, and then it's the
well, I think it's sen, not senu, the plural.
say that again,
I think it's sen. Hold on. Where's the thing?
right
You're
on the
talking
third
about
line.
this
Yes,
part here. Yeah, that's sen, like the plural.
yeah.
But I don't think we pronounce the u there.
Why wouldn't we?
I think it's just an indication that it's plural, but it's not transliterated. The W is not transliterated.
Well, it's there. So until I find a actual text to say that it's not, I'm gonna pronounce it as
Hmm.
Senu.
Hmm.
Um, and then this text I would have to look up, and then under um, yeah, under that looks like a P,
Hmm. It
and
is.
yeah, and so then that looks like not, like Kanat, but
Hmm.
I would have to look up that symbol, and then it's Sinek. I don't know if it's Sinuek, and then it looks like
Yes, it looks like the pot, and indeed that's the heel for the strong k. And at the bottom, I don't really know.
all right. Then we see Parrot going forth,
Mm-hmm.
M, and then I don't know if that's
Met,
Met, right?
yes,
Met,
met. Mm.
M,
And
and then the
underneath is
festival,
yeah,
have
Heb festival. Yes.
the festival, going forth to the festival, right? And then in the
Hmm.
last line, you see Wab, right? And then you see, I don't, I think that's
Whereas
even again.
Imen, yes, we just don't see the N at the bottom, but
Yeah,
Imen is never written with well, I never seen Imen written without the phonetic complement of the N.
right. So it's like purification, of Amen, her, and then that road thing I have to look up, and then I don't know if that's Hesh, praise, and I have to look up some of the symbols. So um, if I sat down with this for another 45, 50 minutes, I would get you all of the transliterations. But the fact of the matter is, why do you read the Medu Neter? Is that you want to orientate yourself to see what this thing really is. So it's a funerary text, a Hotep di Nosut, and then it has particular prayers. So how do you, Shaka? How do you find your symbols? How do you find your symbols?
Uh, you mean how do I learn them?
Yeah. How do you?
Well,
Yeah.
I learn them from different books, different grammar books, and you have lexicons as well. Usually you have some yeah some lexicon at the
Mhm.
end. I mean the one I use the most, well, most English speakers will not know him, but he's called Claude Obzomer. And I first bought his book in French. By the way, he's a PhD in Egyptology, and
Uh-huh.
um, and he has an English version. So I got the English version as well. And he's actually quoted. He's mentioned in the book, the Oxford History of Ancient Egypt, if I'm not mistaken. So that's quite a good look for him. And he's actually mentioned by James P. Allen as well at the end of Middle Egyptian. He gives several books to read in French, in German, and Claude Obzoma is one of them.
I'm just looking for the symbol. So I don't
And
know
and, and you see,
if that symbol right there after the her. I don't know if that symbol that you point to. I think that is Sa. I think
uh,
that's Sa.
that one I don't know. It looks like a table with the still size form of a bread. Just
Yeah, it
like
looks
on
like
the.
D17 to me.
Mm,
So it looks like a Sa, and then there is after that, that is the kind of like the cow's tongue, right? Where
yeah, oh, you're in the last sentence. Yeah, that would be the abbreviation for Emir.
yeah,
Uh,
Emir, yeah,
yes.
Emir, and
Mhm.
then Pert, uh, Pert, and then uh, the Nasut M, and some of it is missing. A lot of it is missing. So why do you learn the Meta Nature again? You learn the Meta Nature is because one is that it's been deciphered. You can transliterate, even if you don't get the whole offering, if you don't get the whole understanding, you have a big general idea of what is going on. And so, but the pseudos, what they do is they hurry up and read the caption. They can't read any of the words. And many of the, not many of them, there's different priests with different types of levels. So Impedishi Jehudi Mas would be able to know exactly what's going on. But me and Shaka and Dugu Keme basically on the fly read this Hotep Dinosut. So that we can verify, so no pseudo can get in front of us and say it means UFOs.
Yeah, we have some people who claim that in the Abydos temple we have spaceships and spacecraft, and actually, uh, pseudo number two has some very nice article. I mean, he's not the first one to address that, but his article is very nice, debunking that. Just like he has another article debunking the so-called light bulb from the Dendera temple because it's a lotus flower with a snake inside of it. And I don't remember, but I think it might also have an article to debunk the so-called battery, but that I'm not 100% sure. But you see, brothers and sisters, this glyph here that stands
Yes,
for WAB,
yes.
and in the movie X-Men Apocalypse, we get to hear some Edu Necher at the beginning. But we can hear Nebi. So we have the word Neb, which can be translated by Lord or Master, and the E is a suffix pronoun, just like in Arabic. Kitab, book, kitabi, my book, just like in Hebrew. El, the supreme Canaanite deity, so basically it's a word like that you can translate by God. And in English, we pronounce Eli, but in Hebrew it will be pronounced Eli. So it's the same E sound, which is a suffix pronoun. So Eli means my God, literally. So um we hear you hear the few words, and then for those who have the movie available, if you go to the part where um Apocalypse saves Storm after she steals something and they want to cut her hand off, she's asking, which hand. um Apocalypse asks, who is the ruler of this world. Now, in a movie theater, they did put the subtitle. I don't know if they did the same in DVDs or when it's been played on TV, but you can hear Heka, because Heka means magic. It also means ruler. As a matter of fact, Brother Reggie mentioned Heka Hasut, that the Greeks call Hyksos. So Hasut means, can be translated as foreign lands. So ruler of foreign lands. Many times people translate it as foreign rulers, or there's another term they use, shepherd kings. Some people use shepherd kings. So you can hear him mentioning who's the ruler of this world. You can hear Heka Ta Pen. Ta means land. And you probably heard the term Tameri, beloved land. Now, later on, when he's inside Storm's house, he's looking at the TV, and she goes, "What are you doing?" He says, "Learning." And then he says, "This word needs to be Wabet." And because it's a word she doesn't know, she goes, "What?" And he says, "Cleanse." So in the movie, they translated the word Wabet as cleanse. But as you can see, you actually have a leg, and on top of the leg, you have a vase or a pot where water is coming out of. You see, because Wab is a word that means pure, and it can also stand for priest. You see, so in that movie, you can hear some a little bit of Medu Nature.
Yeah, so you can use meta to verify. So
Hmm.
sometimes you could pick up when someone's trying to speak Egyptian transliterations, which is not a language, but they're trying to speak it, and you could pick it up. So you could listen to the Mummy, the movie The Mummy, and you can hear some stuff. And they hire Egyptologists to kind of try to speak the meta. But I don't. I go for the meaning of it. I don't go for the rolling R's and things that they put on. You don't say netter, you roll your R's. I'm not Spanish. I can't roll my R. I'm from Newport News, Virginia, so I cannot roll my R. That's something that you pick up in a cultural, uh, you know, cultural form. So don't want to interrupt you, but why do you want to learn the Medu Neter? Is so that you could verify living history. You can know exactly that this is a funerary piece. Um, it's a offering that the king gives, and you can detect the time period by seeing Amen Ra, and you could understand that they're talking about a festival that's there, and you can see the purifications of the Sa, right? The praise, and you could see place names involved in this place, and you can also see titles. Um, you sometimes you look for titles. So here, usually the title for the deceased person again would be Imaki, or if it was a female, Imiket, or Imaket. You would see that. But you also on the bibliography, you would actually see what their duties were. If they were Pati Vizier, if they, uh, in other words. But it does take some understanding of sounds make words, symbols make sounds, Sounds make words. Symbols make sounds like A. Alphabet A is a symbol that makes a sound A, like B is a symbol. Symbols make sounds. Combine those sounds, you get a word, right?
Indeed.
And and then there is tricks that you learn where you learn to actually parse and separate things. But um, so what else do you wanna? So I we use this to say why we should why should we learn the Medu Nature, and if I agree and you agree, then there's some consistency. So it's not like someone standing, some pseudo standing up and trying to tell you what something means, and it doesn't mean any of that shit. And we've and for the time period that I have been on the scene, which is really about 7 to 8 years, um, I get right to I'm saying no, it don't mean that. Like more, like
Yeah.
like so mer means more. No, mer does not mean more. Mer means beloved, right? And when you see more with the determinative of a human, it actually means needy and rich person. So in ancient Egypt, more with the person means wretched and needy, and you can show them that. Can you pull up Vigus dictionary or anything, any dictionary that you want?
Um, I don't have Vegas on this computer. I have it on the other computer. But there is also a mare meaning sick, you know, because I made a video a long time ago. Actually, the video is entitled "Seek More" because we don't really hear about the Moors too much now. But back then, they were trying, and they used to claim any word that has an M and an R. I mean, it's to the point where
Yeah,
somebody even claimed that Na Narmer has something to do with with more.
yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna pull up while you're talking. I'm gonna try to pull up the I'm gonna try to pull up Vigus dictionary and see if I can find it.
Sure. And
Does anybody in the chat have a question?
well, feel free. And I see the sister, Love Me Fro, she wanted to uh, um, take advantage of the free Medu class on Friday. So if it's still the case, and if you can join us now, then feel free because since no sister has stood up to the plate and it's been a few days, so now I told the people that, sister or brother, one person can be lucky. So if you
Well,
still want to attend the class free of charge, then feel
well, we
free.
definitely want our sisters to learn the Medu Nature to empower them because most of the Meta Nature people, even though my teacher was Dr. Ricchetti, most of them are men and they press their maleness on you, right? They get you under their foot, right? Um, and I'll be facetious. I'll be facetious. Get you under their groin, right? And they're always teaching you something, and you lose yourself. Mm. And so I see a lot in some of the kind of fringe groups where where it's very male dominated. It's like the Hebrews, where women can't do anything. And so anytime you get a chance, Shaka, get a woman in the group over a man,
But
because there's
there are some sisters, I learned, some from America, some from a couple of countries in Europe, so and so actually some of them have children, so it's going to be lovely when the children grow up. We have a small community of learners.
okay. So I think I have what I want to show you. So I'm going to show you a dictionary with more,
Hmm.
if you allow me to,
Of course.
because we have to use this to debate when someone's uh, saying something and we know it's untrue. So here is more with the man. This is more with the man. You see the man right here, right? So
Hmm.
this is more, right? More, and it means poor and needy. And more over here means wretched man, a pauper. So, and mua, more over here is the word for wretched. So, more in the Meta Nature means poor and needy. Simple as that. Have a nice day.
I wanted to ask you, who compiled that dictionary? Because Vigus, that's not the name of a person, is it?
Yeah, Mark Vigus.
Because I looked him up, I couldn't find anything. I don't know who he is, what he does.
Yeah, you can look. If I can.
Mark.
Yeah, Mark Vigus created the dictionary. He's famous for creating the dictionary with the Gardner codes,
Hmm.
and he also worked on a program, a computer program that allows you uh, to I don't know if he worked on J Shesh. So let me just see Mark Vigus. If it's not,
Because every time I looked him up, I basically, came across the dictionary itself, but the individual, he's a bit of a mystery to me.
uh, well, I obviously I try and so his work is on the Middle Egyptian dictionary, and I try to in the old days you can email him. He's harder if he's still alive, but I think
Mm-hmm.
okay. So here is let's bring this up. So I think he worked on Jay Shesh, and uh, so his website, Mark Vigus, somebody I think in the community copied um, his website to make it their website. Someone in the
Mm-hmm.
community plagiarized it um, and said that they could do it. So let me just see over here. Where's if I can find Jay Shesh
Do you know
here?
if Mark Vargas is like American, or do you know which country he's from?
I don't know if he's European. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see Mark Vigus. Uh, so this is his dictionary. I might be wrong about Jashesh, but Mark Vigus is. But I tried to contact him because I wanted to talk to him about some things. But yeah, so Mark Vigus, his name is Mark Vigus, and he created a dictionary, and I'll just Google some more things with Mark Vigus. Probably Smash Rockwell, Casual, Jonathan Owens. He um, he would probably know a little bit more about. And for Sesh Metal Nature, not only Africans use it, I mean Europeans use it too. So uh, and people have to understand that the um, that Europeans involved themselves into studying the Medu Neter uh, before we did, and we um, uh, how can I say their resources, many of their resources we use, but we also verify. We also verify it, right? So we just don't. Is this a? I don't know if this is Mark Vigus. Let's see, or a Mark Vigus. I don't know. I can't tell from that.
He looks like the PhD that Garfield had on his show, but here is like slimmer. I guess over time he gained weight, but he really
I
looks
don't.
like the one.
yeah, I don't know if that was Mark Vigus or someone
Mm.
talking about the work.
And
But
besides, he talks about the Bible, and the guy talks also about the Bible and Egypt, but
so, what are some of the resources that you, and Mark Vigus is a free dictionary that's online,
mm.
that you could use and download. So, what are some of the resources you use to teach Medu Neter?
Oh well, I have to go this way. Uh, this book here, we have a translation of artifacts from the Louvre Museum. Now, it doesn't have transliterations nor the glyphs. It just shows the original and translations. I have, of course, the Wisdom of Ptahhotep by Christian Jacques. In the English version, we have at the end, first we have the normal text. Then at the end, we have the hieroglyphic transcript and the translation. But the French book is better because we have the hieroglyphic text, the transliteration, and the translation. So in the English version, we don't have the transliteration. Um, I a few books here, but this one was kind of useful to me. Uh, Hieroglyphic dictionary, very useful because it's small and to fit in my bag, but I don't really use it anymore. That guy is a PhD, but not in Egyptology, if I'm not mistaken. He earned his PhD into some other field, but he's passionate about the. But I forgot. Uh, I've got this by B. Manley, very nice one. I've actually recommended it a few times. This one is shorter by Will Parkinson, Richard Parkinson.
Yeah, I
Oh,
have
you
that.
got it. Yeah, it's a very nice one. And this one probably not many people know her, Janice Cameron. She was actually an assistant to Zahir Was, if I'm not mistaken. Not that it's something prestigious, but she studied, if I'm not mistaken, at the American University in Cairo. But it's a nice one. It's quite different. Some of the things she translates quite differently from like Gardiner and others. Of course, uh, Gardiner Egyptian grammar. There's another one I did not start yet, but he's also that book is also mentioned by um, what's his name again? Uh, James P. Allen at the end of the book, where he recommends several books in French and in German, and this one is quite large. Those two guys, two PhDs, Pierre Grandet and Bernard Mathieu, they actually teach Medu Nature. They have an institute and they teach
Mhm.
Medu Nature over there. So that one probably will be nice. But I read some people complaining about this one because apparently it's mainly done for their classes. So sometimes you don't have corrections. But it doesn't matter to me if there's no correction for the exercises. What matters to me is just to learn the grammar, the grammar rules.
Mhm.
And I have a
Well,
few other PDFs. There's what's his name again? Uh, it's not mentioned too often, but his PDF is available online. But it's in your other computer. But yeah, I have a few other books as well.
yeah.
I try
So,
to get some insight from several different PhDs.
okay. So let me share my screen.
Hmm.
Um, this is a tool that is so funny. Um, when they were saying, "Well, brother Reggie, you took a glyph from Vigus dictionary and you ain't credit Vigus dictionary, but the glyphs belong to African people. I could have took it from Dixon. I could have took it from so with this
But are they really making a reproach for one single glyph?
oh yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's new. Yeah,
Yeah.
just one glyph.
And it's not a how can I say it's not so Hiro Word. If anybody wants to, you can go to HiroWordsWeebly.com, and here is where Vigus worked on this basically it's a flashcard program, and so you can download it, right? And I'll show you what's in it. So let's see, features, oh, screenshots. Sorry. So you can download this, and it should run on your PC or your Mac, and basically uh, it's called the Hieroglyphics Flashcard and Computerized Dictionary, and you could so basically with the program, that's the credits. You could basically enter a word. You can enter a word like beautiful, and it would give you the transliteration, and it would give you the Gartner notations. So this is Nefer, right? NFR, which equates to this glyph right here, which oftentimes you see it by itself. It would be a Nefer. And so you can download this for free just by going on Shaka Ndugu's, um, joining us at Shaka Ndugu Kemet's uh, teaching, where he's trying to get someone to volunteer for Medu Necher to get into a free class. And you and Brother Reggie is joining him because people follow me. Uh, People follow me. I think that people see that I am reliable, right? Um, and and, uh, and so I'm happy to I'm really happy to work with him, and but I definitely want to give you this tool to use, because we use a lot of tools when we actually try to work on the Medu Neter. So this is one of the tools I have. I don't know if my computer would be able to pull it up, but it allows you to look up glibs. It gives you a flashcard, a nice little flashcard where it doesn't give you the glibs and you can fill it in. You can print stuff out. So it's a dictionary. And let's see about. Let's see about. So it gives you the origins of it, and it tells you. I'm trying to figure out the people who are involved in it, um, which I thought I had. I don't know what's going on. Uh, but if you go to higherwordsweebly.com, you can download it and play with it, and it will help you with your classes. It will help you do some flashcards to memorize some things. And I think it's a really good program. If I get it working, I'll come back on and show you some of the stuff on the version that I actually have. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and let Shaka Indugu talk.
Mm-hmm. And well, I actually have most of the glyphs, at least the main ones from the garden list, which over time has been uh, has been enlarged. Um, so I have the single one, so I put them together when I do the slides, when I prepare the classes. But um, when I saw you put up Euro words, uh, out of curiosity, I had a quick look on Max Scribe, and it looks like Max Scribe is no longer online. Like it's like on an internet archive. But I'm quite surprised, because I've heard about it for a long time. But yeah, there's a few softwares that allows you to go through some hieroglyphic. You basically the garden list, and you can choose also sometimes different list. And I personally find it more useful the way I do because, like I said, I have the glyphs individually, so I just put them together and I do my thing. But now we have some few new people that joined the live stream. I just want to let the people know one person can be lucky. Now, Sister Love Me Fro, I don't know if you're still there. Last time you expressed interest. If you want to attend the class, the hieroglyphic group class, free of charge, then just get on the panel like you did last time, and then You can send a private message to me with your email address, and I'll write to you, and you can reply, and that's it. It's on. But if anybody else wants to take advantage, then feel free. Been trying to get a sister on board for a few days, and it's thanks to our kind sister Alex Little, the artist, the author. She couldn't make it for the classes, but she decided to sponsor some people. You know, she wanted me to sponsor someone, but I decided to sponsor a couple. So whoever wants to learn the meta nature free of charge on Friday, then feel free. If others don't mind but the payment, then it's $10 per class, 1 hour minimum, and it will be every Friday, but it will start this Friday. You see, we were supposed to start last Friday, but I was in Amsterdam, and I went through some things, so I couldn't attend. That's why I made a video to apologize about that. But uh, I understand, brothers and sisters, that it's a group class. If you miss the first class, it might be a bit difficult for you to catch up starting directly from the second class unless you started learning. So now it's the time. And I've been saying a few times that, after this group class is together, uh, there's going to be some changes, because I'm going to be up to some things. So I might live stream a little bit less. I might have shorter live streams. So some of you will miss the usual live streams. But so whoever had the need, the interest, the curiosity about the meta nature, that's a great opportunity. And you have some testimonials once again. If you go on my channel, which is here, my Forever, you have the playlist that says Meta Nature Testimonials, and you will hear two sisters and one brother saying what they think about the class.
Okay. So I actually have Hyrule Word up. So let me just see if I could share my screen. And it's so stupid. I'm a plagiarist because I used a glyph that I could have used from any normal sources. So do you see my screen? So
Yes,
let's say in English, I wanted to find a word uh,
Ma'at.
like justice. So in here, I just type the meaning of justice, and I'll say doesn't have to be case sensitive, and I'll just say okay. And then I have EU, which is wrongdoing, injustice, and I'll say
Yeah.
find next. Find. Oh, sorry, I got to do it from over here. Find next.
I went through that with one brother who is in the South, just today. Before this last stream, I had the class with him.
And then I'll say there's another word which I'm not looking at it. The dictionaries in this program, but it's helping me find words. So here we have Mott, and they give the Gardner codes, right? I'll find next, and then so you can use this to kind of like test yourself, right? You can try to kind of like test yourself. Um, and then let me just see where it says attempt to guess the transliteration. Let's see if I can. There's something that I that I could do to change the settings so I could actually guess. So let me just see if I say so I can do it. I can look at the transliteration to see if I translated it right. Right. I could look at the Gartner notation, which is this, right? So I can look at the Gartner notation, or I could yeah. So let's just go here. So this is fine too. What's happening here? Search by. Sorry, I don't know why it's not working for some particular reason. Let's just say I seem to be frozen, but let's see find. So I'm not being able to. Something is going wrong with the program. But the fact of the matter is that you could actually begin to see this is a G and on, right? And then and then you can look up this glyph right here, right? which is probably the J18 glyph. See if I can get this working. Um,
And the funny thing, that small bird is usually associated with, negative words like bean, like the other one you showed, EU, wrongdoing, evil,
yeah,
Isefet as well,
yeah. J18 gardening location. Don't. Okay. So I'm looking for J18. So what is this? This is J18. So over here, um, I can go through this and find a lot of things that have J18 in it, right? So then I could say, okay, I know this is hair, right? This is Ren, and this,
and then
right? This
Sa.
J, huh? Yeah. So this one has an okay, and so I can go over here and say this is Ka, but then there's the R, and so they're doing some funny stuff over here, right?
Yeah.
Where this is caress, basket. This is what do you call rebus principle, where they're just using the well, it's another term where they're using the first sound of it. So this is not Ka, this is Ka mess, right? This is Ka mess, Kamas, right? And so you can go through this and you can kind of like test yourself, right? D is I don't agree. I mean, some of this stuff I would get wrong because I would put the "u" here, but
Mhm.
this is actually a dictionary item. Uh, uh, Best, Bas. So they keep the A. I would be messed up here because I would pronounce this as pa,
Mhm.
ah, s, or sa, and I would
Mhm.
be I would be wrong, but on the fly until I actually looked it up in the dictionary to see if there's something else going on. Uh, this is Ma, like Ma Hepri, right? Lion. And so I would tell anybody if you just want to do flashcards and you don't want to buy them and you want to test yourself, you would download HyperWorks. So I'll stop. And what I did here is I simply did the Gardner notation. I don't know if you can see it on my screen. Here it goes right here. So I6 is something that's just overused, right? People selling all of these books on the I6 glyph, which is Kim. We don't need to buy another damn book on Kemet. Africans, the Metropolitan Museum and the Brooklyn Museum say that Africans inhabited, continental Africans from the south inhabited Egypt, right? That it got its foundings from the south. We don't have to keep banging our heads over what Kim means. Don't buy another stupid book on the meaning of Kemet. It doesn't. They say that Kemet doesn't mean black, but the dictionaries have uh, many items that have dark, blind, black, right? So it has something to do with color. Here's Kim Ware. When the pseudo see Kim Ware, it's always a threbus, a threbus, right? Uh, and so they automatically say no. It doesn't mean Kim Ware doesn't mean uh, Great Black or Black Lake. It means a threbus. Yeah, right. Stop listening to these people. Kimiet, herd of cattle, right? But not only cattle, particularly a herd of black cattle, right? That's why the Kim is there, because they're describing, and here's the Kemet with the 049 glyph, the Nuit symbol. So, and here is Kimiet again with the black cattle, and here is the people, right? Kemet with the woman and the man in the plural, right? Um, so it could be Kemetu, right? Kemetu. And so here's the famous Kim glyph, and we can get it two ways. We can get it by saying find, and we can say the transliteration, and we could say Kim. We could see all of the words that have Kim in it, right? And we could do it this way, or we can do it with the I6 glyph. So I recommend beginners, intermediates, um, advanced don't have to do this, but I would recommend that that you get this to kind of like test yourself. Okay, I'll stop sharing my screen. That's just some of the resources that I tell people to do when I was teaching Medu Neter. I'm not teaching Medu Neter anymore because of this. Because I found that I have made I helped make the Medu Neter popular in our community over the long periods that I've been going to the museums and debating, and now people are trying to make money off of it and spitting in my face. They're spitting in my face, but they weren't the people who brought it to the community. Um, I'm not talking about my teachers, Dr. Riketti Amen, and her school of philology. I'm not talking about her. She's blessed, right? I'm talking about the people who came because we made Kemet important when we did Kemet on trial. That's when a lot of people joined this community, when we were able to defend Kemet against the Hebrews. And so then we have a whole slew of people with Kemetic names, Kemetic spirituality. Not saying that some of the older people, now you have to be, I'm 57. So I know a lot of the practitioners who was practicing in the 80s. I'm talking at 86, 87, 84. And the practitioners really came from the Kemetic Institute of Chicago, Dr. Jacob Carruthers, and Dr. Riketti was a part of that, right? And then Malana Karenga got involved in California with the Medu Neter, and we formed ASCAC. And then there were groups of people who said, "Yeah, you do all the work, do all the work, do all the work, and what we're going to do is we're going to sell spirituality. We're going to sell pseudo spirituality. So we're going to make the Husia the Bible." So Jacob, Dr. Carruthers and Dr. Malana Karenga wrote a book called the Husia, which is some sacred text. And then they started reading it as if it was Psalms or Proverbs, right? Um, you know, and then, but they was reading the English. And then they was walking around with the Purdam Haru of Anui as if it was a goddamn Bible. Now that was in 87, 88, as if there's only one Purdam Haru. There are hundreds. But they was walking around as if that's like the holy Bible. And then they was mispronouncing words and stuff like that. So, brothers and sisters, let me just tell you, when I do this, I know that there are people who hate me to the point that they would like to harm me. Why? Because I was around with Dr. Ben, Dr. Jacob Carruthers, Dr. Malana Karenga, Dr. Leonard Jeffries, Dr. Riketti Amen, right? I was around that period. If you look in '86, you'll find me with on a panel with Dr. Riketti and in '86, right? If you look hard, you'll find me. And these people, they were in their Pampers. They were in their goddamn Pampers. But now they want to spit in my face because I want to tell them the truth, and I'm taking away their money. But today I'm with Maafeva Shaka Ndugu Kemet, and he wants to teach the Medu Neter. And I was a person who was around during a time period, and these people are, many of them, not all of them, not Infadishi and them, And look, I respect brother Jabari. Me and Jabari, we've been friends for a long time. We argue all the time, but we've been friends for a long time. So I've grown to love and respect him and his wife, Dr. Anika Osasi. Some of the other groups are just kind of new. Some of them are they're just new and they don't know me. And because they don't know me, they want to spit in my face, right? Talking about I'm not spiritual. Yeah, I'm not spiritual because you're not any better. You can't even read the glyphs. You're not better than me, but you're spiritual and I'm not, but I can read and you can't. Miss me with that shit. Anyway, Shakin Dugu. I'm just bringing in the politics of it, and the reason why I'm telling you is because you're behaving too. Well, you teach spirituality with this, right? What do you do? Do you teach?
No, I stick to the language, you know. So I translate, I, I deal with the language mainly. I'm not. This is Medu Nature class, so it's a class about the hieroglyphic. So no, I don't teach a spirituality.
Oh, okay.
I think it's up to the people to um understand the text, and then they can make what they want of it. But
So here's a question: uh, Why do we call the civilization Kemet?
it was a name used.
At what
Uh,
period?
well, I wouldn't be able to say. I've heard you and others say that it was not used at first, and uh, but
Keep
it's
talking. Keep
it's
talking. I
it's
can hear you. I just have to get
yeah,
something printed.
it's one of the main name. Then we have the appellation Tameri. I wouldn't really say it's a name, beloved land, but oh, we have Melvin Jefferson. I think you came in before. Aren't you the brother who said you will send the cash app on Wednesday? He's greeting us. Peace to you, brother. Now, once again, one person can be lucky and attend the Metal Nature group class this Friday at 11 p.m. EST, 11 p.m. New York time, free of charge. All they need to do, all the lucky one needs to do, whether it's a brother or a sister, is to get on the panel. And to get on the panel, you have the link in the chat. It's at the top of the chat. It is pinned. And you can send your email address to me. I will send an email and you can reply to confirm it's really you. And then I will send the link for the class. So take advantage, brothers. Take advantage.
So Kemet, um, there are many words for Kemet, so it doesn't mean one thing. It doesn't. It's not just a place name for the place, but it has its roots in the word Kim. And during the Old Kingdom, you can see things like black granite, and you can see people calling them like Sabi Kim, Sabi Kim, which is the black knife. He called himself the black knife, or the black knight, the black man that was the black knife, Sabi. And so you see the word, and then you see in another period where the king calls himself the Saikem, the Saikem Sat Sit Kemet. So he's the black ram of the black sheep, born of the black sheep, and the pyramid text. And then you get to the 10th dynasty, where there is a place called Kemet under Keti, King Keti. And you also see in the same period from the eloquent peasant, he comes from Kemet, or he comes from a place called Kemet, and the whole land wasn't called Kemet at this time. And then Mentuhotep now, he beats up Keti's people. He wins the war of who's going to rule uh, the land, And to bring all the people together, they ceremoniously called the land Kemet. But it was always still Tawi, the two lands. It was always that. In the Old Kingdom was Hinu, which was the residence, and there's some other names for it, but it wasn't always Kemet.
Mhm.
Why Kemet is so important is because Kemet is the prize, it's the money, right? People repping Kemet. It's all marketing and money. It really, if you really know something, you would just call it Tawi, the two lands. Then you would be right for all the periods. If you call it Kemet, you're only right for the 10th dynasty on, right? And then sometimes it got phased out. It actually got phased out. Kim becomes Gem during the Persian period, right? During the Persian period, when Xerxes and Darius won the war against the Africans. And so you see now it's Gem. Uh, so anybody running around talking Kemet, 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 brushing their teeth with it is deceiving you. That's not the name of the land for all the periods. The people in
Not
Old Kingdom, huh?
not for all the period, but at one point it was the name for the whole country. So I don't see anything wrong with that.
Only in the late period. I mean, sorry, only after
No,
the Middle Kingdom, not in
mm,
the Old Kingdom.
maybe not, but still, you know.
There's no maybe not.
Mm. Well, even
There's
if it
no,
wasn't, let's say from the 18th dynasty, for example, you know, what difference does it make?
it makes a lot of difference because it says something about your chronology. You're applying a term through all the periods when uh, Imhotep and uh, Nebuchadnezzar, Ka, all of these, those are all of these groups of people. They didn't call it Kemet; they call it Tawi. So then your orientation is off, and then so when you start, if you want to debate or something like that, you get some minus points. You get some minus points because you are taking a term and applying it. It's like the Christians applying the Bible just to their
Like the New
period.
Testament,
Yeah,
like
and they're
yeah.
calling the Bible, but it's not the. But what about the Torah? What about the Torah and the Tanakh? And what about that? And so what you're doing is you're using force. You're using energy. You're a conqueror, right? You're a converter. And these people calling it Kemet, 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 are silly. You can't win a war
Oh,
against
you can't say that, Reggie.
I'm telling you because you can't go to a European scholar and get up on stage. You get embarrassed debating anybody from the uh, who is trying to take ownership of Africa, and you do that. Trust me, you don't have to. I'm a little older. If you tell me if you disagree, tell me why. Tell me why.
Well, many PhDs use the term Kemet for Egypt or ancient Egypt. I understand your point. You're saying it wasn't used back then. Tawi was used, the two land, you know, that's Upper and Lower Egypt. But some of the inhabitants of Kemet, some of the Nesu, use that term Kemet to describe the whole country. At one point, we don't usually use the terms that were initially uh, um, uh, in use for all the nations in the world, all the known empires in the world. You know, there's been some changes in the yeah, different appellations. You know.
Um, I'm looking for a book on Middle Egyptian. Give me a
Hmm.
second. Let me see if I can find this book on
Hmm.
Middle.
Now,
On Middle.
Hassan, I see that you try to get on the panel, but I don't know if you're aware. There's been some changes lately. I'm requiring people to show their face when they get on the panel. So if you don't mind showing your face, then feel free to come back. And Most people know that, but I did not say it in the last few minutes or so. But um, whoever wants to get on the panel need to show their face. So there are still,
So this book,
one person. Yes,
this
go ahead,
book, so
brother.
follow its rules, show your face, right? So this book right here, Ancient Egyptian Transformed, The Middle Kingdom by
Mhm,
the Metropolitan Museum of Art. It's their publication. They did
mhm.
an exhibition, Ancient Egypt Transformed, right? The Middle Kingdom. I don't know what's going on here.
We can see it. We can see it.
They don't use the word Kemet in this whole book.
Fine, but plenty PhDs use it.
Yes, they do when they're talking about a particular period. Okay, here it goes. Tough love. Show me, show me, give me an example. Tough love.
You want me to show you an example of Kemet being used?
Yeah, to be the whole country in the period prior to the Middle Kingdom.
Oh, that I don't know about that. Prior to the Middle Kingdom, I've shown several times the name Kemet written, but prior to the Middle Kingdom, I don't know. And I agree that Tawi was used, that Tameri was used, and but I don't see any problem with people using the term Kemet for the whole country. When people say Kemet, they're not claiming. Well, I'm saying Kemet because Kemet has always been the term to describe or denote ancient Egypt. They're saying Kemet because at one point that's the name that was used to describe the area.
I hear you. I hear
Just like
you. But
now
if
we
you
say we
read,
say we say we say America, but it was not always America. It was a British colony once.
but if
So
you're
if we
reading old Kingdom text or the first intermediate period, will you see the word Kemet as a place name?
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't read all the texts, and even in my lifetime, I would not be able to read all the texts. It's just too many.
You my brother. I'm not gonna.
No, but I'm not disagreeing with you. Um, I'm not disagreeing with you. Uh, my point is, okay, even if Kemet was not always used to denote the country, what's the problem? Like I gave an example with America. You know, and I heard some people say that before New York, it was called New Amsterdam, and when we say Thebes, we know we're talking about what said. The name has just changed because of the Greeks. Now it's called Luxor. Um,
Right, but then you have
we
to
know.
get into the reason why it was called Kemet. So why is it called, for history's sake, why was it called Kemet?
But we don't always ask a question for other places. Like, when we say Rome, we don't ask ourselves why was it called Rome and so on.
Yeah, but we know Rome gets its name from this fiction,
Romulus. Yes.
right, fictional person. So then,
Hmm.
so with Kemet, we can ask the same question:
Hmm.
why do we call it Kemet?
But usually people will say it means the black land. Other people will say the land of the black. I personally translate it as the black.
Right, but when, okay, so okay, so it's called the Black Land opposed to the Red Land, desert, right? Um,
Definitely.
why did it become prominent? Why that word became prominent, even though we still have Tawi and we still
Hmm.
have Tameri,
Hmm.
right? Why is that? Why? So this seems to be an argument that's making a lot of money, and I don't like that because it's
Hmm.
money over truth. Not with me and you, but
Hmm.
this community has spent a lot of money on Kemet, and they're still not too bright.
Well, that's a pseudos, but there was a demonstration that lasted over 3 hours where someone claimed, "Oh, Inspire One has been a long time, Elder. How you doing, brother?" So, yeah, that person tried to claim that Kim doesn't stand for black, doesn't stand for color, and it stands for a title. And over 3 hours, the guy said he has a reference, and he never showed the reference. So that speaks volume, you know. But some people, you know, are groupies. Some people will just follow people just because they like them, they like the way they speak, uh, and that's about it, you know. They're just straight up groupies, you know.
Right, but you never see the problem is you never see these people with other scholars, right?
No, you
You
don't.
you never see them. You would
You
never
know.
see them with Dr. Mario Beatty. You never see them having a discussion with Dr. Mario Beatty or uh, 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 maybe a photo op with Dr. Ricchetti, but you know they're not kin. They're not respected by them. You will see Infadishi might be with them. He's a gentle elder, but he's a spiritual warrior, as he calls himself. He would correct you and laugh at you, and laugh in your face, even though he's like that. And they never met Dr. Jacob Carruthers, who was the our teacher and our leader. Uh,
And besides, I made a mistake um, earlier when we spoke the previous live stream. I said that he was on Pseudo Killers. The show was actually on Real Black Atheist on Fire, and well, the brothers pointed out something you know, very simple. Whatever they claim, whatever the pseudos claim, you know, let them, you know, put it in a journal or any format that they want, and present it to uh, people of the field, you know, to the scholars, because this is something they have yet to do. They have their own personal hypothesis, their own personal opinion that they're trying to push as some absolute truth. And in the process, they invalidate real scholars, real PhDs, which is just horrible. I mean, it's horrible to do that, you know, people who have
yeah,
proven themselves and earned their titles, and you're going to run around talking about they're wrong and they guessed, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, I mean, saying that Rekati Amin was wrong, I mean, he's wrong, not was wrong. Saying that Shekuntadia was wrong, even 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 putting doubt on the vocabulary that Diop used, like talking about, I met someone from Senegal who told me this, and saying that Theophile Benga doesn't have a degree in linguistics, you know, just because he doesn't, you know, when according to San Francisco State University, he earned, you know, some PhD, some degrees, sorry, some degrees in linguistic, you know, from in
you're
Paris
talking
and
about
also
Dr.
Switzerland.
Theophilo Banga. You're talking
Yes,
about his description of Dr. Theophilo Banga.
yeah, he said on air, he said Obenga doesn't have a degree in linguistics. That's what the dude said, you
Yeah.
know. But
I, I,
this,
I am look, those people, um those people are not important. uh their work is not important, their work is not accepted. They're charging you. Me and you, we're talking, and we're not trying to sell a book. You are trying to get people involved in the course, which is costing you more than, and you charge less than everybody else charges. You charge less than everybody else charges. You take one of their courses, you be in the Metanetia for 6 years and can't read, right? Or what happens is, you know what happens? You find that many of their students don't go on past them. So they find themselves locked inside a room, and they don't really, you don't see them on these platforms. You don't see them talking. They let their boss or their daddy or their spiritual leader talk. They don't ever find themselves. They don't go out. And so you're here. I'm supporting your course,
do
and I'm telling the people why you use this stuff as a research tool to verify for yourself. Once you verify the words, you verify the object that you're looking at, you learn to describe it, and then you put the history. Then you go back and you put the history on it, and you make sure that your history is right. And it's really about what Africans did, not what the pseudos do, right? And so the pseudos will go and make another 10-hour video on me. The pseudos will make another 3 hour video saying that Brother Reggie's a misogynist because I hate women. That's not you. They if you listen to them, you're a fool. I've studied with women. I've learned with women. I've worked with women. I love women. Yeah,
That's a diversion. That's a diversion. You
that's a
you cannot
diversion.
you cannot engage anybody from their team. You want to engage the people who make the claim. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And we have people who don't make the claim, and they're in the chat, and they are moderators. When you're a moderator, you need to have some decorum. You need to have um uh you 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 you, you need to have manners. You cannot be a moderator and then you're gonna, what I'm saying, outright, these people want to act like people don't comprehend just because they don't agree with the girl's boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? I mean, where did
yeah.
it's
I don't,
all good.
and I don't even like to get into it because then it becomes a whole nother thing when you. So the thing is, take your partners out, deal with the information.
Yeah, she's gonna be
Um,
biased. What else do we expect her to say? You know what I'm saying? They're in a relationship. Of course she's gonna roll for the dude. You know what I'm saying? But she's not the one making the claims.
yeah, and so she's not. And so she's a. Sometimes people make themselves more. It's irrelevant. Shout out to Inspired One. Definitely, the Meta Nature is a antidote to Dr. Richard Carrier. Is definitely an antidote to him. He doesn't know much about ancient Egypt at all. And so if Shaka Ndugu was debating him or I was debating him, um, it'd be a different animal. Um, I'm not. How can I say? Um, I'm not one of those people who believe that Egypt came from or Tawi or Tameri or Kemet came from the Greeks. I mean, sorry, came from the Christians. I believe that from my research, is that the Ptolemies became leadership over what is called ancient Egypt, and then Christianity was um, not born there, but it had its kind of jubilee moment inside Alexandria and Cairo under uh, the Romans, and that the Christians got their information from Greeks who were worshiping what's his name? What's the god's name?
Serapis.
Serapis, right? But they didn't have any really direct contact with the indigenous Africans, and so that's where I disagree with Brother Jabari. Uh, I would say it's Christianity is in the Greek world, and that's where they got what they think they got from ancient Egypt from the Greeks, and then but they didn't get it directly from the African in power. And Herodotus came to Egypt during the Persian period. So and the Persian period and the Greek period, right? When the Greeks were in power, that's when Herodotus comes, and so Egypt almost had already fell. It fell by the Libyans, uh, the the
The
25th dynasty,
Syrians.
the Assyrians, the 25th dynasty tried to resurrect it, but they got beat by the Assyrians. And then it comes to our argument. Um, Me and your disagreement. We have a disagreement. Amun did not work.
Well, I don't think we could say that because he worked for about 3,000 years, Someone might say, well, look at what's going on in Palestine. Their deity doesn't work, you know what I'm saying? Um, and other places, like the in was it Birmani, the Rohingya people are being persecuted. So it's just like when I hear people say, okay, Kemet is not something to follow because it fell. It fell because it was attacked. And if people attack you, You cannot just be everybody. And empires, they rise and they fall. That's the way it is.
Well, who after Amun fell, he the 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 Shabaka, Taharka, Shebektu, Pianki, all of them, they were Amun worshippers. The Assyrians won over Taharka, kidnapped his wife and his heir to be, and then there was another period after. Then there's another period after that. Um, then the ancient Egyptians reformulated themselves, and their chief god became Khonsu. Khonsu became their chief god, and that was. And then the Nubians ended up continuing to practice ancient Egyptian thought, but then they got upset with the ancient Egyptians, and so they had the Meroitic civilization, which is a kind of another syncretized uh, uh, form, and then they later uh, was fighting the Arabs. Well, the Christian niggas from Ethiopia, Izana and them attacked and destroyed much of Meroe, and then later they became the Nubians reformulated themselves and sided with the Byzantines to defend themselves against the Arabs, and then they accepted Christianity. Partly, yeah, they accepted Christianity uh, because the Arabs were just trying to enslave them. So they accepted Christianity. That's King Silko.
And they ultimately succeeded in enslaving the Nubians. And we have Dr. Wesley Muhammad in his book called Black Arabia, the African Origin of Islam. That PhD in Islamic Studies, or probably more precisely, that PhD in Near Eastern Study, um, wrote himself about the Bakht Treaty, where the Nubians had to send 360 slaves every year to Muslim Egypt.
Mhm.
However, I don't know if I should call it insanity or too much smoking or too much drinking. That same PhD, Dr. Wesley Muhammad, wrote that the Nubians were the victor. They had the leverage, so they determined the terms. So when you look at the Bakht Treaty,
No, I'll show you. I'll find you while you're talking. I'm going to show you that that's a lie. Um, yeah, that's a complete lie. That the Bach Treaty. Let me just pull it up. The Bach Treaty. I'm going to show you how the Arabs about the Africans. So let me just pull up the Bach Treaty. Uh,
now we
Bach
don't
Treaty.
have any original for the Bakht Treaty, but we have
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
well, we have some copies, but not the original. I'm not aware of any original of the Bakht Treaty.
Well, that's why Brother Reggie's a researcher. So Brother Reggie's going to give you the closest read of the Bach Treaty. Okay,
Hmm.
so that's why your brother from the U.S. is going to help you out. So we have the terms of the Bach Treaty. So I'm going to share my screen, and this whole thing with Wesley's Muhammad talking about Allah means Ra. La, Allah means the God. It means
Yes.
the God. La is the moon god, right? The moon god La is in the where they do the Kaaba. There's a section in it, right? And La is there because he's one of the ancient gods, and he's a moon god. So he's not the sun god; he's the moon god. So he's not Ra. So that's just somebody that doesn't know ancient Egyptian culture. Uh, wait, uh, he just doesn't know what he's talking about. So for the people, you can look this up, an 8th century Arabic letter to the king of Nubia, and basically there were 3 scrolls that was found, and it was 4 scrolls. It was Coptic and Shahidic, It was Shahida Coptic, and it was in Arabic. And this is your Holy Arabic right here. And in your Holy Arabic, he's laying out the terms to the Nubians about what they forgot and what they owe. And then um, we go to a line number, I think, is it 53? Uh, okay. So 54, 53. Protected by us who are with you as well, being liable to which you are liable to. That's the Bakt. It has been mentioned to me, and he mentioned it to me, Salim mentioned it to me, that you are liable to the Bakt for several years which you have not fulfilled, as for which you have sent in accordance with the Bakt. So you ain't give us what we wanted. So what do we want? You have sent that in which there is no good, the one eyed, the lame, or the weak old man, or the young boy. So look, sing, Negroes, into that about which I have written to you. Sing and hasten the dispatching to us your remaining liability, your slaves, according to the Bach, for the years in which you owe and do not sin. So not only do we want our regular supply, we want a supply of Africans from all the years that you did not send. So this is the nature of the religion that Wesley Muhammad practices. He doesn't practice the Arabic; he practices the Nation of Islam. But the truth of it is that Arabs enslaved Africans under the Bach Treaty, and his version of Islam is what the Prophet Elijah Muhammad, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, gave to him. But there is history. So I'll stop sharing. That's the Bach Treaty. You can the elements of the Bach Treaty, and you can look it up right here. It's called An 8th Century Arabic Letter to the King of Nubia by Martin Plumley. Stop sharing.
Yeah, and I think it's really crazy to say, okay, Nubia had to send 360 slaves every year, but Nubia were the victors. I mean, Nubia was the victor. They determined the terms. Who will be the victor in a conflict and determine the terms? Say, okay, I won the war, I won the battle, I will send 360 slaves to you. And this is written in his book. I'm not making it up. It is written in his book, you know.
Yeah, all that the Nubians did was stop the Arabs from coming into Dongola, and they drew up a treaty, right? They drew up a treaty. And so if he wants to say that they were victors, what happened was they drew up a treaty to stop the war. And then there was terms, and then the Nubian says, I ain't gonna fulfill those terms. You want slaves? We ain't gonna give you no slaves. But that's what you want? Fine. Put it on paper. We ain't gonna give it to you. And so now the governor of Cairo, he comes back and he says, nah, you owe slaves, and you owe slaves for all the years that you ain't give us, because you know about the Bach that you signed, sing, hasten, and etc. And the Nubians is like, yeah, whatever. We're sending you our criminals. We're sending our people that was the thieves, the people who did East Fed. We're sending you those people, but it's not many of those people. And so Dr. Wesley Muhammad, uh, La does not mean Ra. La means the moon god. La means the moon god. And so, uh, he's bordering on pseudoism.
He does actually. I'm gonna turn on my other computer, but he doesn't say on that Ra is Allah only. He says that other deities are Allah. And if my computer doesn't take too long, we just let the people know what the other stuff. Um, if
And I think I'm tiring, so I think I'm gonna have to take a nap and get off and let you
I
finish. I just
understand,
wanted to come on for a little while and
I appreciate that.
help you tell the people why we should study the Meta Nature is so that we can verify history. Uh, this was my point. So I had a little fun, Shaka and Dooku Kemet, and I had a little fun, we're involved in a battle against people who are using Kemet to make money and misappropriating the information.
It's a
Pan
long journey.
African Designed and Apparel. Peace to you, good brother. How are you? So, how do we reverse this? Well, I've spent a number of years trying to get people involved in the study of ancient Africa because my teachers gave me some information, and how can I say, if much is given, much is expected, and then I find out that it's been hijacked. Um, but then there's people like yourself that produce great wares and things like that, very beautiful pieces. But then there's people who keep it going just to make money and don't try to tell the truth. So your designs look like the designs of Kemet, uh, ancient Egypt, Tawi. But what they get up there and they say, we're going to tell you all what something means. And they're not, uh, nobody knows them. You know, they're not respected. They're not, they've been doing this work for so many years and they're not in libraries and they're not in journals. And, uh, and if I get an opportunity, I am going to complain about what they're doing. So I'm 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 at the point of complaining, and they're gonna say, "Well, brother Reggie, you going to the white man," and I'm gonna say, "Well, you go to the white man and sell your books, so you go into the white man and sell your books to our people." So I'm gonna go to the white man and tell the white man that you are misappropriating information, right? So if it's up to me, I'm gonna get you kicked out because I mean I've had I'm up when you make a 10-hour video on me and you know now you're crossing and then you make a 2 hour and you call me a misogynist. I'm married. I mean I'm formally married. I have a son in the university and in a PhD program. I'm lucky. I'm happy. I'm proud. I'm thankful. I'm blessed. What have you produced? With all the monies that y'all made and all the monies you extracted, what have you produced? What tools have you produced? What are your children doing? Do you have children? I put my money into my family, right? What have you done with your work? Tell me what your day jobs are. I worked for 20 years, 5 of them in the Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture, right? 16 and a half years in the law office. What are you doing with your what are you doing? You got a YouTube life, but what's your day job? Who are you even hireable, right? Or if you're not hireable, then what type of business are you running and stuff for selling this stuff? So how to end it? Uh, you you I don't have too much time in just in general anymore. You produce good work. You try to find out as many facts that's true. You investigate, and you be honest. If I show you that somebody plagiarized J.P. Allen word for word and stole the words and stole the glyphs, you make up your mind as to whether or not that's excusable or not. You make up your mind, right? You make up your mind. I mean, I showed everybody. You go to J.P. Allen and you go to their book. The dude stole the glibs, but I'm a plagiarist. He stole the glibs and the writings and the terms. And then he wants to say that he created it. Then he steals dictionary items and says, well, I noticed. No, the dictionaries notice. You memorize the dictionary. Show the people the dictionaries. I go in here, I show you Hyrule Word, I show you Vigus, I talk about Gardner, I talk about Budge dictionaries, I talk about Egyptian grammar books. Just because you stole something from someone, now you own it? No, you're a horse thief. You're a horse thief. And then the other person makes up stuff. He's the only one in the world that can do what he does. Give him the Nobel Peace Prize. And I'm just I'm upset that I even met them. I'm just upset. So Pan African Designs, I don't have enough. I don't have a lot of time. Period. Um, in general, and I'm talking about my, I have some health issues and stuff like that. I all I'm here to do is to give you the alternative. The alternative is basically read and study. Don't follow a nigga. Do not follow niggas. Follow information. Don't follow a nigga. Don't believe them. Just find out what are your sources. Let me read the shit for myself. Right? Don't involve yourself in no damn cult. Don't believe everything that someone says. Just follow the information and trust that people like myself have tried. Um, you see, I partner with people. I mean, I come on people's shows. I mean, I could go on Sunet's show, but I can go on Smash's show. I can go on Ank's show. They're all my peoples. But I decided today to spend some time with another audience, which is the Africans in Europe, in France, with Shaka Ndugu Kemet. Because why? He is a Diop son. He's defending Diop and he's defending Obenga, and he's doing it against those people who say that Diop guessed. If it wasn't for Diop, nigga, you wouldn't be making the money. If it wasn't for Obenga, you wouldn't get a paycheck. If it wasn't for them and UNESCO, you wouldn't be nothing. So the worst is when you drink from your grandfather's well and you spit on them. You people are the worst type of Africans. Other Africans followed the same thing for thousands of years. The Kemetiu, the people of Tawi, the Nubians and the Nakatas, they followed what they got from the rock paintings in the Green Sahara and from Chad. They followed it for thousands of years. They built on it. And then in 10 years, you come and you choose a word like Kemet, and you have the whole world fighting over a damn word called Kemet. What are some of the other words that you want to change? Why Kemet? Shaka Ndugu, Kemet is the prize. Whoever controls Kemet controls the money. Because we built up Kemet to be a marketing. So I'm against that now, Shaka Kemet. I'm against that now. I see what it is. If it wasn't for Kemet on trial, most of these people wouldn't be involved in it. They weren't involved in it before. It was Kemet on trial against the mighty Hebrews, the Torah Hebrews and the New Testament Hebrews, and we made Kemet important, right, for a younger generation. Now there's a group of people in Kemet now. My teacher, Dr. Jeffries, and many more are in Kemet right now on the Happy Trip. But they made it. They made it in the universities. I took Black Studies. I have an honors award in Black Studies in a university, right? Jabari has a bachelor's in African studies. You people are unteachable. There you go. So Shaka, I'm gonna lay down. Sorry. Thanks for inviting me on, and I hope I was helpful to you.
My pleasure. I appreciate that, brother. Hotep Sen E. Well, brothers and sisters, feel free to get on the panel, particularly any lucky one who wants to benefit from the free Medonacha class this Friday. One person can attend the Friday group class free of charge. It will be at 11 p.m. EST, 11 p.m. New York time. All you need to do is just get on the panel, but you need to show your face. Okay. Now, in the meantime, this is Western Muhammad's book. Do I have the page here? I don't have the page, but it's figure 23. And you can read Canaanite representation of their supreme god El. So he claims that El is Allah. Okay. Now, oh, that's page 87. And Wesley Muhammad wrote, an Enki equals Allah. In other words, an Enki is Allah. Page 108 of his book Black Arabia. Wesley Muhammad doesn't claim only that Ra is Allah, he claims that Enki is Allah as well. All right. And according to Encyclopedia Britannica, Ea, Akkadian, Sumerian Enki, Mesopotamian god of water, and a member of the triad of deities completed by Anu, Sumerian An, and Enlil. I heard Muslims call that shirk. But hey, that's Wesley. So here you have it. If you look at the paragraph or couple of sentences before the last sentence, it says, but the Semitic solar deity was not named Ra, it was Allah. Ra's hieroglyph no doubt conceals the Semitic original. So you can see that he says that Ra means Allah. And here, furthermore, on page 116, it says, like the Arabic Allah and Allat, the goddess's name is created simply by adding the feminine marker to the god's name. So we have the Ra, the R, and the Ain, which is the A, a glottal A. And he puts La in parentheses, and on the right you have Rat. Some people will pronounce it Ra'et. And he puts Lat. Okay. And here, page 117, thus Allah is Ra, and Allat is Rat. Okay, I'll leave it there. So, for those that didn't know, Muslim Muhammad teaches that Ra is Allah, that Enki is Allah, that El is Allah. That's a lot. Ra, Enki, El. I would love for somebody to step up to the plate and take advantage for this free Metal Nature class. I will not be long now. I've been live streaming for 2 hours and 25 minutes. Is there anybody that wants to take advantage of a free class? Don't you know some people charge $50 for a class? I charge $10, but here one person, one lucky one, can attend the class free of charge. Don't you want to take advantage, brothers and sisters? I will be very disappointed if nobody takes advantage. I will be very disappointed. Oh, by the way, those who have not subscribed to my channel, then please do so. I need 6 subscribers to reach 20,000 subscribers. Nobody wants to take a class free of charge? Hieroglyphic, Medunecher? Nobody? Nobody for real? Showing your face so difficult. It's been 2 hours, 26 minutes. I will wait for 2 hours, 30 minutes. 58, 59, 2 hours, 27 minutes. 3 minutes. I will wait 3 minutes. How can a lucky one take advantage and attend the hieroglyphic group class of Friday free of charge just by clicking on the invite link? But for the record, a link to get on the panel. And I put you must show your face. Boom, I share the link. I will be very disappointed if nobody takes advantage of this opportunity of learning the hieroglyphic for one class free of charge. I will be very disappointed, brothers and sisters. Two more minutes left. I'll be very disappointed. I have a path to follow. So I'm going to do my thing. And I thought we had a few people who are down for that road. I'm realizing it's a lot less than I figured. And it is what it is. 1 minute left. 1 minute left. Whoever wants to learn the better nature, remember, starting this Friday at 11 p.m. EST, we have the group class. Whoever wants to get on board can send an email to me. You have the email address in the description. And it's about 2 hours, 29 minutes, and 30 seconds. So I will conclude. Stay safe, stay healthy, and if I'm allowed to, by the Necheru. I will wait though for the last 15 seconds, so nobody will say, I was about to log in, I was about to join, but there was 10 seconds left, and you bounced. There it is, 2 hours, 30 minutes. Stay safe, stay healthy, and if I'm allowed to, by the Necheru, I will definitely holler back at you. Hotel. Now, for the record, for those who don't know, I'm giving Medu Nature classes. And here, that's the flyer. Okay? So, those who are interested, feel free to holler at me. If you're not interested, it's cool. But I recommend that everybody who has not yet seen the video, Kemet and Ma'at, Before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, then watch it. It has about 300,000 views and really deserves to have a lot more.
to this stream in the future, I just had my first Meta Netia class by Brother Shaka today, and I've had other Meta Netia lessons by other teachers, and I can tell you right now, the brother is the best in the game. He is that was one of the best classes I've ever had, ever. So if you're interested in learning the Meta Netia, if you're interested in getting the basics of it, Brother Shaka is an awesome teacher. Get with him, and it's extremely affordable. This brother is giving us his time and his skills, and he's basically giving it away. I mean, I just consider it a donation. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody's interested in learning the Meta Netia, get with this brother right here. He's an awesome, awesome, awesome teacher. And I'll end with that.
Hotep Senu, Hena Senut. This is Julie, also known as Servant of Yah, and I'm currently taking the Medu Netia classes with Brother Shaka, and it has been an amazing experience. Only 2 lessons so far, and I feel like I've been taking the classes for months, just with the how in depth he goes into the vocabulary words, the construction of the language, the grammar. It's been immeasurable, the experience. And one thing that comes across, hands down, is his extreme passion for teaching this to anyone who is willing to learn and has an interest in learning. So I highly suggest, if you are interested, even a minimal interest, that you subscribe to the classes with Brother Shaka. It's such a nominal amount for how much you get. I know, like, our last class was over 2.5 hours. It felt like 2 minutes, but because that's how, involved you are in what he's teaching and how he teaches and how compassionate he is about what he teaches. Also with sharing materials free of charge, no question, no doubt. It's just what he does. He doesn't have to, but he does. And so I just wanted to give a short testimonial about the class and the effectiveness of the class, and all of that is attested to how studied Brother Shaka is. So I highly recommend anyone with a minimal interest that you do sign up for the Medu Netia class. Hotep.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, which is Ma'at Forever. Don't forget to watch the video entitled Kemet and Ma'at. Don't forget to share Kemet and Ma'at on my channel on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or other social media that you use. Email, text messages, you name it. Those who wish to donate can do so on paypal.me/Ma'at Forever.